there was this trend on WhatsApp where people would send a very long essay saying that somebody has died, resurrected, a very long, and then
Blah,
you see
blah.
that it has been forwarded many times.
And they'll say pass it on to
Pass it on to somebody to save a life. Meanwhile, these things are not true. If they are true, where are those facts, right?
Hello friends, hi lovely people. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Take 'em So podcast. Yes, your one and only podcast. Yeah, if you disagree, I mean, take it like that. Yeah, so it's the end of the week and this is a new episode. And yeah, it's been a hell of a week for me.
Every time it's been a hell of a week.
I mean, it's been a hell of a week for me.
No, the fact that you wake up every morning and then you are able to breathe, go about your duties. Don't you go to work?
I do.
Don't you eat?
I eat.
Yeah, so you should be grateful.
The fact that I'm saying it's been a hell of a week for me doesn't mean that I'm not grateful to God.
If
for
you want
giving
money,
me
you have to
life.
suffer for it.
I mean, adulthood is really doing me. Like, it's not easy like that. It's not on the floor. They lie to us.
If it be easy,
they lie to
do
us.
one. If it be easy, do one.
So as you can see today, we are at the KNUST Museum. If you've never been here, when you come to KNUST, you can come and check it out and see the arts and the exhibition of some students and all of that. Yeah. So today we are going to have an interesting conversation. We're talking about misinformation, we're talking about disinformation, we are talking about social media and everything around it. Yeah, so when we talk about misinformation, it's the spread of false news. And right now we are all prone to social media. When you wake up in the morning, there's a lot of information you can consume. How would you know if the information you are consuming is actually true or false? How would you know where you are reading from is actually from a right source or not? So we're going to have that conversation so that you get to know or you get to be aware on these things to prevent its effects, because misinformation or disinformation can have a lot of effects on people and even a country or the whole world.
I mean, right now it's happening. A lot is going on in the UK because of a miscommunication or a rumor that was spread about a marginalized group of people. And then the riot has been going on for like close to a week or even more.
Yeah.
And it's very terrible because once people decide to spread information, I mean, the main purpose of misinforming people is to deceive people, right? So if they are spreading these rumors online and then we as users of the internet, we come across these informations, we don't tend to verify them. We just be like, oh yeah, this is what they are saying. And then we tend to our brothers, our sisters and be like, oh, you don't know what's going on, this is going on, this is going on.
You also pass it on ignorantly because you don't know if it is true or false. You just hop on the information and you just spread it as it is. But one thing is, misinformation is the spread of false information, but disinformation is deliberately spreading false information. So what's happening, I think what's happening in the UK, there were shootings, I think 3 kids died.
Southport, yeah.
Yeah. And they claim that the person that they caught is a Muslim and is an immigrant. Yeah, that was the message that was going around. But that's actually a false information because the police has actually not said anything about the person's identity, whether the person is an immigrant or not.
I think per the article I read, they mentioned that he's a nationalist, like he was born there. Although he's a Muslim, but then he's a nationalist, like he was born there.
He was born in the UK.
Yeah, so extremists, like nationalist extremists, they are saying that because the children, the victims, were kids, they were girls.
Yeah.
So they've taken it upon themselves that, I mean, we are protecting our children, especially women, right? So that is the reason why they say these Muslims, these immigrants are murdering their children. So they need to stand up and then protect their children's future.
I mean, this is like an overboard something, because if one person does something, you don't spread it to an entire group of people.
I mean, that has always been the case.
There hasn't been a factual statement that says, oh, this person is actually from this particular place, or this person is an immigrant, this person is a Muslim. And you can't even stand on that to attack people.
I mean, it has always been the case. Even when you come to Ghana here, we are ethnic differences. When we meet people and they say, oh, an Ewe or Eve, however they pronounce it.
It's Epe. You say it with a touch on your lip.
Ever. I say, ever be like, hey, those people, I'm afraid of them. Oh. Like, you people, you are, you like that.
The actual fact, you have never been to voter regime before.
Yes, you haven't experienced all of them.
I've never been to voter regime before, but low key.
Oh, but this next month we are going.
Are we?
I'll tell you later.
How come you're going to voter regime and I don't even know that you're going to voter regime?
We're going to who?
What are we going to do there?
Echo Worry.
Oh, yeah, who's getting married? Oh, Gloria. It's funny how people are getting married.
You're putting people's business out there. Shut up.
Shout out to Gloria. Hi. Yeah. So I've never been to voter regime before, but sometimes like I'm a bit reserved when it comes to those when I'm dealing with them because of the perception I have about them.
Why? What's your perception about them?
Oh, they say like they like
They
juju.
say.
I mean, that's why we're discussing this. They say they like juju, and like you wake up in the morning and you see that someone has prepared certain things on your door. That is what I've heard. And low key, I believe it too, but I've never seen anything like that. I know a lot of Rotarians, and I mean, I vibe with them and all of that, but I've never seen anything like that. But low key in my head, I believe it. You get? So this is a spread of information that I've not even verified whether it's true or it's false, but I actually believe it.
I mean, we can't dismiss it totally, and then we can also say that it is not true, right? Or it is true. The people who are putting in context here, and then even all the other ethnic groups, they have like things that people have tagged them with. Back in SHS, when I tell people I'm from Western region, the first thing they say is that, oh, Seshi 4, Muchicha, Etre, Mutu Gold, like Galamsey. So it's like every community has a tag on their back. So when you mention it, like people are like, yeah, these people are like this. Although these things happen, like when you listen to the news, back in Western region, like there have been instances where people's head are being cut, like people's body are being left like in forest, like along roadside. But then sometimes it's not even them. Yeah. I'm not defending them. There are people who are like natives of those places. It could be natives, it could also be strangers because they know that, I mean, would you want to sin like in your own vicinity? Sometimes you just have to, they move from where they are so that they are not seen. They just move from where they are, they go to other places, they do it, and then they come back, sit there quietly. So if it's happening in my vicinity and then you hear it on the news, you'll be scared to visit my vicinity. Because you think that, oh, if I go here, they will kill me. If I go here, they will kill me. The same thing that we hear about all the other ethnic groups. I mean, they say Ashanti people don't like everybody. They think themselves like they're pompous, that kind of thing. Well, that's what people say about Ashantis. Am I an Ashanti? Hey, you don't know where you're from. I'm Jesus Christ. Me Asantini, pio. Uchi crying, oh really? I speak to you, Papa. If you like, let's turn to G. Nah, you do it backstage. So this actually shows that misinformation can have a lot of effect on people. Because I think recently, not too long ago, I saw that when I don't know if he actually said or he didn't even say it. When we heard that Cheddar said he would bring the sea to Kumasi, and we saw pictures flying that when you get to Tech Junction, the sea will be at Tech Junction. 2024. Is it? The sea back Kumasi for Mahusida. We don't know whether it's actually true or false, but there was a spread of it and people were talking about it. People were bashing him. That I heard about that issue. I think I was in church one time, and then you know these afternoon shows that you do on radio stations, and then there was this, I can't quite put a name to the radio station because I wasn't really paying attention. He was saying that he mentioned it before that he could bring sea to like Kumasi.
Kumasi.
And then now, Cheddar is also imitating what he said like some time back ago. I was like, how? How is that even possible? And then there was a whole debate, a whole argument on Twitter. People were just backing in, saying that, oh yeah, and then people were also fanfooling it because, I mean, how is it even possible? What the country needs right now is not a C, another C. It needs employment. It needs sustainability because right now, look at the prices of data. Look at the prices of food. It will shock you that I went to the market just this week and then I got 3 tomatoes.
For
It's
how
not like
much?
they are big, like they are this size.
How much was it?
For 5 cedis.
Ah, you've gotten 5 CDs. 5 CDs is actually cool.
It was, I was shocked. Onion and I'm getting like 2 for 5 cedis. I was like, hey, how am I going to make this stew if I'm going to get things like this? I went out to the markets with like a budget of like 500 cedis and then I left with like something few. So right now, even cooking is even expensive than buying like normal food because on a normal day, I can just walk to a go bestseller, get beans 5 cedis, cocoa 5 cedis, and then that would take me like for a very long time. But then if I should want to
You
prepare,
won't buy fish, you won't buy egg.
no, the beans is fish. The beans is protein.
Then they'll be saying it's a rich man.
You've forgotten your science. There is protein in beans.
I know.
And then the red oil, there are other vitamins and then nutrients
Yes, Doc.
inside.
Thank you so much, Doc, for the enlightenment.
You should be eating gobe. You see the way the skin is
Who said I
growing.
don't eat gobe?
Hey!
They say it's a red flag if a lady eats gobe, actually.
Oh, wow. Come on.
Oh,
What is
I've
red
heard.
flag about that?
Like, they'll be like, she's a 10, but she eats gobe. Then they'll be like, she's a 4.
If you are eating gobe as a lady, you are 15/10.
Oh my God!
Like on a more serious note, because I mean, it's a delicacy that everybody enjoys.
I mean,
So
like
you
get rice on the side.
If you are working in Aedia, say, continental supermarkets, the joint
She
over
needs
there.
us to do adverse for her.
No, I'm just showing you. I mean, personally, I don't buy gobe here in Kumasi because I don't like the way they do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, back at home, I grew up around palm nut soup a lot,
Okay.
so they'll do like palm nut soup very light, and then they'll mix it with the beans, and then that way it has weight, it has like a pinch of salt inside it.
Yeah.
But here they just cook the beans. When you're buying, they just fetch the beans, put the
And they put
gari,
the
and then
oil.
some oil. Like, it's very bad. So I don't eat it unless I'm cooking it at home. I don't buy gobe here.
Gobe is taking us from the topic that you're actually talking about. So, I think let's talk about what can be done. What can be done to prevent or reduce the spread of misinformation? Because right now, everybody has a phone. Even like a 7-year-old child. 7 is even too much. 5 years, 3 years, they have phones. And we, the youth, everybody has a phone. And we are all consuming information. How can we verify that what we are reading is true? Because right now, when we hop on an information, we just look at it and laugh about it and just pass by. But we don't know that this information can actually have like a very huge effect on us, because what's happening in the UK is so appalling.
Yeah,
like
very, very,
one
very,
person
very
does
appalling.
something, and because they say the person is associated to this particular group of people.
They tag them, and
Exactly. There
yeah.
is distraction of building. There's a whole lot of things happening.
I think what we can do is, one, to work on our individual selves.
Yeah.
Once you see the information, you need to
Fact check.
check the points. There is this sitcom, or is it a comedy show? I don't know what to call it. I started watching it recently. It's called Young Sheldon.
Yeah.
The
Young
guy is
Sheldon,
so
that small boy.
sensible
Yeah.
to the extent that anything you tell him and then he has no idea about,
Yes.
he goes to research, he
Yes.
goes to read it,
Yes.
and then when he finds more about it, he comes to ask more questions. So I think what we don't do as individuals is that we don't verify things, we don't ask questions.
Yes.
People fear asking questions because they feel like people say that, oh yeah, too much, you're asking a lot of questions.
And even in a setting, in a Ghanaian setting, when you ask a lot of questions, even as a child, We
Yeah,
just shove you
Kolaboni.
off.
Yeah, Kolaboni.
You talk too much.
Hey, Trina,
So these
yeah,
things prevent, as we grow, we tend not to ask questions
yeah,
because that's what we are used to.
very true. And then another thing we can do is that, we as young adults, we have younger siblings, we have friends. Before you share an information with a colleague or a sibling or even a family member, you need to verify.
Yeah.
Right? There was this trend on WhatsApp where people would send a very long essay saying that somebody has died, resurrected, a very long, and then
Blah, blah,
you see
blah.
that it has been forwarded many times.
And they'll say pass it on to
Pass it on to somebody to save a life. Meanwhile, these things are not true. If they are true, where are those facts, right? So sometimes we need to verify the information because, and then another thing, media outlets, especially with our radio stations, I've realized one thing about them. Sometimes the situation might also not look like so hideous or like dangerous, but then the way they exaggerate things to incite fears and all those things, like when your local moms, they hear, they be like, hey, have you heard? And then they are spreading it. You go to the market, this seller is telling this person, this is also telling this person, and they go home and then they are telling their kids. Meanwhile, some of these things are not true. They are just speculation. They are just rumors. So we should learn to educate our mothers because sometimes they spread a lot of information that are not really necessary.
I think one thing is getting a trusted source where you find your information. No, I think right now there are lots of bloggers. Everybody is a blogger. Everybody is sharing information because I have a phone and I can share information to everybody. So everybody is blogging. So get to know the source you are getting your information from. Because if you know that probably this media house is a biased media house. It pushes towards this particular party. Know that definitely whatever they are going to say about that party is good, and what they are going to say about the other party is bad.
Very true.
So you just find a neutral source, so that you know that wherever you're getting your information is actually true and it's actually right.
And then we shouldn't also limit ourselves to just one media outlet or one news outlet because you read from one source and then you're like, okay, this is where I get my news, so they are always correct. It could be that there could be like some misplacements or some miscommunication even in there. So you need to check all the other news outlets, even international news outlets, and then all these things, and then see if these things are true.
And one thing is there should be media literacy, probably a course that can be studied right from the onset as a child is growing to know to differentiate between a false information and a true information. Because I think I went for one misinformation seminar or something, and they showed us two pictures. I think one picture is the same person, but two pictures. I couldn't differentiate between the two. But someone was like, oh, this person actually has a mole close to his mouth. So this is the real picture and this is a false picture. I was lost in the whole seminar. I couldn't see anything. So if there is that media literacy when it's taught and you're able to differentiate between the false news and the true news, that's actually going to help us.
Right now with the technology advancements, you can just sit in the comfort of your home and then put things together to make people believe. When we take CapCut, you can just cut videos, short videos, put them together, and then they will synchronize. So when you put it out there, people don't check. Outside in Western world, like in movies, they can check, they can backtrace these videos and then know that this is like a tempered video.
I mean, there's more to
there is more to it, right? But then here in Ghana, immediately we see it, especially on TikTok, we just consume it and then we go. So we should check those kind of things because I can take your picture, I can take like something out of something you said, even this podcast that we're doing, in case we say something and then there is something comes up like later, somebody can just pick a particular episode or a particular clip.
Like a part of what
and then attach it to something else and then use it to
Exactly.
implicate us on like a whole lot of things. So we should be careful of the information we push out there, and then opinion sharing. You don't always have to have an opinion about everything on social media.
Yeah.
Everything you see, you want to share your opinion. Everything you want to see, you want to share. Oh,
I
that's bad.
believe, I suggest, just keep quiet. Yeah, so, I mean, it's been an insightful conversation, as I always say. I'm sure we'll find a media person or a journalist to have a broader conversation on this topic, because it's actually an important topic that needs to be hammered on. So if you have any last words, let's hear you. And you need to give shout outs here. If you have any shout outs to anybody, give shout outs and let's go.
Yeah, so one thing, some few words I would like to say to end this episode is that, I mean, we've already said it and then it's already there. One, be vigilant. Verify your own information.
Yeah.
Whatever you are consuming, you need to verify. And then you need to understand that things are not the way they may appear.
Yeah.
Sometimes things will appear like to you in a certain way, but you need another perspective.
Yeah.
Right? Let me use an example, for instance. Just this Olympics, the 100 meters for the males finals.
Yeah.
When you look at it from the side of the screen, you can see that the Jamaican, right, he won.
Yeah.
Because his legs and then everything crosses the line first. But then when they go to check a pictorial representation of the finishing, they give it to, is it Noah?
I didn't watch the
Noah
100
Lies,
meters,
or
100
yeah,
meters,
I
don't
think
know.
Noah Lies. So everything has a perspective. What you see might not be what I see. What you see might not be what the other person sees. So we should
And
try
whatever
and then
everybody sees might not even be the factual one.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So yes, we need to also understand that.
Yeah. So shout outs to who?
Okay, I think I would want to give a very big shout out to everybody who has been with us right from the beginning, because
Yeah, that must be brave.
it has been a blessing. It has been inspiring to see you guys in the comments, see you like you click to watch, and then you listen to this episode, you interact with us. Some of you, you don't comment, you just talk to us like via our DMs, via our socials, and
Please
then
comment.
all
Whether
those
you
things.
talk to
Like
us
they
in
mean
our
a lot to
DMs,
us. The
comment.
critics, the directions, the suggestions, and then
Yeah.
everything. It means a lot to us. So shout out to you who have been listening to us right from the onstart, and then a very special shout out to Eunice Abuajewa.
Hey, why are you in this Abuajoa?
She's my favorite.
Oh,
I say a very special
don't take
shout out
my bestie from me.
to Eunice Abuajewa.
Hi, Eunice.
Eunice, I see you.
Okay, so it's a wrap, yeah. But I need to give my shout outs too. A big shout outs to Drago Hive, Air Creative, and a big shout outs to Design Impact and Jan Pixels for holding us down in this episode.
I think I need to give my shout outs again.
No, you are not taking it again. We are so grateful for holding us down in our production. And I want to say a big shout out to my sister Grace. Yeah, I love you so much. Thank you for loving me.
You're coming
too.
to kiss your family for
I
here.
beg.
Oh, my
Yeah, so
friend,
this is where we end today's conversation. I hope you liked it. You can share in the comment section what you have experienced, what misinformation has actually, its effect on you. And please do well to subscribe. You've watched up to this far. We beg, subscribe. For
And then
the
once
support
again,
episode.
it's been a while I said this. Whatever you are doing this week,
Yeah.
I hope you have a good one. Whatever you are trying to, work on, I hope it works out for you.
And don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, on Instagram and on TikTok at takeamso_pod, and listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Yeah. Thank you so much for the support. And this is where we say a bye-bye. Whatever you're
wrap.
going to take, it will be. Bye.